The number of admissions to our detox center here in Fargo are rather startling to you, that they're up and you're kind of wondering why this is happening. You might have some theories as to why this is happening. What's going on here?
Well, you're right. They are up, and they have been for quite some time. In fact, this is an issue that within the police department and really within, to some extent, city government, we've been taking a look at, because the number of admissions to the center detox facility for quite some time now have been startling. In fact, when I talk to people throughout the community, and I tell them that on average, every month we are admitting, or we're having somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 to 300 admissions into our detox facility. Wow. People are shocked by that. I'm shocked by that. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, when I say that number, I'm not talking about 250 or 300 different individuals. There are some individuals in our community that clearly have some substance abuse issues. They're being introduced into the detox facility several times a month. And so, we do have a core group of people. Generally speaking, they come from the homeless population that we end up dealing with by way of their substance abuse issues, and they end up at the detox facility. But the overall number is quite remarkable, and it's an issue that I think in some respects we're overdue in terms of trying to get a handle on. I mean, at some point, in fact, I think we're already there. We've surpassed the capacity of the facility to deal with this volume of detox services that are needed. And so we have to examine, number one, what's causing that issue, and number two, we got to come up with some solutions on how we're going to deal with it.
Let me ask you this. Maybe I should have started here first, but just for the listeners' benefit, what defines the detox center? Who goes there? How long do they stay? What does it mean to go to detox?
Well, keep in mind now, again, we're talking about the center detox facility, where some people are going to make a quick a leap to assume that what we're talking about here is the emergency shelter, and that's not what we're talking. We're talking about the detox facility. Center Detox is a private corporation that the city and others contract with for substance abuse-related issues. They provide our detox services. And generally speaking, the individuals that we take there are people that we find out and about in the community that are intoxicated to the point where they either are incapable of taking care of themselves, or they're in a position where their safety is somehow being compromised. We try our best, and of course you can imagine when somebody's intoxicated to the point where they have to go to detox, mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't get a lot of cooperation or information from them. But we try to determine, is there another place? Is there a family member? Is there a friend? Do they live here in the community? Is there someplace else that we can take them so that they are at least safe and where somebody's going to be responsible for them? But quite often we can't. And so if they're that intoxicated where they're incapable of taking care of themselves and we can't locate somebody else, detox is where we take them.
Now, the bombshell, if you will, that was in the story that Don Haney has had today on KFGO is that you are saying that there are other jurisdictions, other counties, other towns who are dropping off some of their detox folks or problem people that you've just described into your jurisdiction. And that's causing issues for the city of Fargo and for the detox center. What do you? Let me ask you this: do you have evidence for that, and do you have numbers and stuff that can back that up? Because that's a strong claim.
Well, again, keep in mind that the detox facility here in Fargo is not just exclusive to the city of Fargo. Okay. There are other entities that contract with them to provide those detoxification services. But again, in broader terms, what we and some of this just stands to reason that that service provider is here in Fargo. Small communities throughout this part of the state, throughout the region, don't have the capacity or don't have a detox facility. And so, and it's not to say that those other communities and locations don't have the need for that type of service. So the resources here in Fargo, but unfortunately what ends up happening, and it compounds the problem for the lack of resources, is that a lot of individuals in many cases are either referred to, in some cases they're brought here to Fargo because of course the resource is here. And that's putting a tax on the services that are available for the local jurisdictions to use for detox purposes. So we have both legitimate and in some cases anecdotal information and examples of where people from as far away as the western part of the state have either been referred to Fargo because they either have a substance abuse problem or because there's a need for them to be able to access detox services. And of course, some communities in that part of the state don't have them, and so those individuals end up here in Fargo, and then somebody else's problem becomes ours to deal with, in some cases on a regular basis.
Because when you say that they're being, dropped off or brought to this area, I mean, do you literally mean that there are other law enforcement agencies in the dead of night who are going to the city limits of Fargo and booting somebody out of their car?
I can tell you that has happened, yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And we've had conversations, and we've brought that to the attention. When it's come to our attention, we've brought it right back to the agency that may have been responsible for that. And of course, that's the rationale. It's we don't have a place, or we don't have a resource, or we don't have the means to take care of this person and that person's problem within our own community. You have a service that this person either needs or could access, and so we brought them here.